Stuff like that.
To know the difference between mobilization and organization, because the enemy will use mobilization to demobilize us. Mobilization is very easy. Very, very easy. Because since we're people who are instinctively ready to respond against acts of injustice, anytime there's one little act of injustice, we can blow it up and we'll find people who come and make some mass demonstration around it. Miss Sally lost a job. Let's rally. She'll get a job back. People will come and rally. So-and-so got kicked out of school because the teacher's unjust. The unjust, the people will come and rally. They will come to rally at issues. And this is what mobilization does. It mobilizes people around issues. Those of us who are revolutionary are not concerned with issues. We're concerned with the system. The difference must be...
The most important goddesses were black, not just for the African now, in the civilization of the Greek. The Greek was so profoundly affected by the Africans that the goddess of chastity was a black woman, Artemis. The goddess of wisdom was a black woman, Minerva. The goddess of beauty was a black woman, Diana. And many of their great mythological figures which were critical to the vision of history, the history of the Greeks in the Odyssey. The woman who draws, who has the power to draw Odysseus and all his crew into her.
The warrior
is
learns
Circe,
the way of
who's
value.
represented as a black woman with African features on the Greek vases. The woman who helps Jason win the golden fleece is a black woman, Medea.
Learn more at Lady Warrior.
The woman who marries Perseus, the Greek hero, is a
ROP.com.
What are
11 steps. Consideration for empowering African-centered organization by Elder Mariba Kelsey. Be sure to get your copy, especially during these turbulent times. Get your copy at MaribaKelsey.com. That's MaribaKelsey.com. MoribaKelsey.com.
Oh, it's time to grab your glasses, family. It's time for us to get started. I'm so excited. Sitting up here, Kid Magic. This is Kid Magic Rock. Shots out. Here we go. Drink your water. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink. Or should I say, breathe, then drink. Take a breath. Now, grab your glass for some water. Grab your glass. Lift your pitcher of that water. Or bottle. Get that pitcher of that water. Simply pour some water. Drink. Or should I say, lift, pour, then drink. Now move your body and drink some water. Move your body and drink some water. Move your body and drink some water. Bam. Just move your body. Drink, drink, drink.
Drink your
Or should
water.
I say, move, then drink.
Move your body.
Move your body. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors, fam. Just raise your glass. Drink, 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 drink.
Drink your
Or should
water.
I say, raise, toast, then drink. Take your breath and drink some water.
Take your breath.
Lift and pour yourself some water.
Pour.
Move your body, drink some water.
Move it.
Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Breathe, lift, move, toast. But remember to stay healthy. Remember the four pillars. Breathe, drink, eat, move. Drink half your weight in ounces.
Eat a culturally appropriate diet.
Behave. Take your breath.
Come on.
Lift and pour.
You can do it.
Move your body.
Come on. Come on.
Toast your ancestors. Drink up.
Come on. Drink it. Drink it. Drink it. Come on.
You can do it. Come on. Drink it.
Lift it. Drink it. Come on. Drink that health in.
Drink, 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 drink.
Drink your water.
Take your breath.
Take your breath. Take your breath.
Lift and pour.
Lift it.
Move your body.
Come on. Come on.
Toast your ancestors. Drink, 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 drink. Drink your water. Drink, 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 drink.
Come on. Come on.
Drink your water. Take your breath. Lift and pour.
Come on. Pour it.
Move your body.
Stay healthy, family. Come on.
Toast your ancestors. Drink, 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 drink.
What?
Drink your water. Drink, 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 drink. Drink your water.
Are new here at Gye-Nyame Journey Media. We wake up every morning and we toast our ancestors. But before we get started toasting the Creator and our ancestors, we have to make sure that we are healthy. Are we following our health regimen? We suggest that you start your day off with some water. Ain't nothing better for the body than some water. But of course, we always start with that breath because the breath is the most important. You go 3 to 4, maybe 3 to 5 days without drinking some water before you're going to die. But you only go about 3-4 minutes without a breath. You know what I'm saying? Or as we, as we have witnessed, it could be up to about 5 minutes before you pass away. So we got to make sure that we monitoring that breath so that we can make sure that we are healthy enough to toast up our ancestors, right? You know what I'm saying? So, it's good for us to remember and stay connected to our family via these instruments that I'm using, the computer, the phone, all that stuff. But also it's vital that we stay in connection with our family, our extended family, our ancestors. So we take the time to make sure that we are going to toast and lift up those individuals that made it possible for us to be here, those individuals that took care of us when we couldn't take care of ourselves. It's very important on a daily basis that we remember them and lift them up. Lift them up. Because as they say, hell for an African is being forgotten. And, we strive never to forget those who were dear and close to us. Talking about those personal ancestors. All right, so here we go. We're going to do the toast real quick. Then we're going to get into the news. Woo, man, that is that ambrosia. Oh, man, I love it. Look at that. You see that? Did y'all see that? It wasn't no smoke in here before. Let's pour some of that smoke up in. Oh, my God, it's flowing down into the glass. Oh, man. Lord have mercy. Some of y'all robbing yourselves by not learning how to make your own or getting some real what they call that kombucha, right? Some of y'all just wasting y'all money. If it ain't alive, it it ain't helping you. Let me say that. You saw this is a lie, right? So, family, we're about to go on and toast our ancestors. So first, giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call that Creator, we lift up our glass and we salute and we say, Ashe. All right, let me fix something up real quick. Y'all know I gotta do. I'm my crew in the morning. Ain't nobody getting up this early. This ain't even early for us, but you know, this is pandemic times. We had to adjust our time for the pandemic. All right, so because my one of my pieces stopped. There we go. It's working again. All right, so here we go. So I'm lifting up my glass once again, and we're gonna salute our ancestors, our personal ancestors, family. Those of you that are new, and if you want to add your ancestors to the list, put them on the timeline or hit us up on our Facebook page at Gye-Nyame Journey Media on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like the page and send us a message. And in that message, put your ancestors' names, and we will write them down. Or you can post them up on a timeline right now, and we will write them down into our black book, so that every day we toast ancestors every day. Sometimes late, but we do it. Like on Kaumba when I went down to the protest, you know what I'm saying? We toasted late. You know what I'm saying? Like almost 5, 6, 7 o'clock or something like that. But we got it in. We're going to get it in every day here. And then when I'm not able to do it, we got young people in training that will be able to do it, whether it's my kids or some other young person out there watching, or maybe even a nation builder out there watching me and like, look, I'm going to do this until we get one of these young brothers or sisters up here to do this toast, because this is part of, you know, I mean, I guess this is like Gye-Nyame Journeys, one of our community serving projects, you know, to constantly remind us that, you know, we're standing on the shoulders of some great people. We're standing on some shoulders of some great people, and that people that we knew. See, because one of the things that used to bother me is, like, you know, when we first started Porn Libations, people would love to show off their historical knowledge and be able to name obscure figures in history, important as they were, be able to name them and be able to name more than anybody. But when it came time to, you know what I'm saying, they had 2 or 3 names in a family. I'm challenging you to go back and pull up your family. I'm challenging you. See, because sometimes we need to remind ourselves about where we come from. You know what I'm saying? And what type of stuff they went through. We need to always remember that. We got to remember those ancestors in our lives, right? I'm just important. So we raise up our glass. We salute those ancestors. And I'm going to try to go as far as I can by memory. And then I will pull out the sheet. Are you ready? All right, we're going to go Miles Brown, Ms. Ann, Robert, Texana Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly. Oh, for those that are new, if you start doing your libations and you adopt our list and you start saluting other family, other tribal members, ancestors, always start with your ancestors. Brother Hatim has structured the list where I toast my ancestors first on the list. Right? Because, you know, that's my direct connection. That's my doorway in. And it's the same for you. You know what I'm saying? When you put your list together, start with yours first. Okay? Miles Brown, Ms. Ann, Robert Texana Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly, George and William Walter, Christopher Fanny Gasson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland and Geneva Brown, Marco Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis, Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones. Did I say Wash Ellis Jr.? Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallar, Montague Pittman, Normal X, Pet Mont, Ron Malika Fakor, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamara, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusef Weston, Elder Ajani, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., J. Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pulliam, the Luxter Brothers, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Miss Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Frankie. Oh, I lost the rhythm. Frankie Johnson. I lost the rhythm. So let's get to the list. It happens. So we're gonna start. I'm going to start at Jay Edwards. Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Ines Harris, William Bell Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Danielle Paulina, Luxor Brother, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Carol Smith, Walter Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Triggs, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Renderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Louis Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Dale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Ware, Levita Farmer, Uncle Sosu, Shell Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Deolis Hasbury, Harvey Asbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keach Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavinia Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Sophia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quells, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quells, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.C. Johnson, Dearity Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hannah Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Amateur Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey Ellen Ohio, Franklin Russell and Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Bina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, D'Amico Russell, Dean Monares, Gene and Ruth Jones, Jana Callahan. We also have William Walter West, Nigel Perez, Elder Basiji Fulani, Jim Robinson, Gladys Johnson, Beverly Clark, John and Mary Sullivan, Dirk Johnson, Antonio Johnson, Denise Waters, DeFriedis Hines, Honest Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry, Wilson Haley, Emma Hine, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Kevin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, The Candy, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Peanut Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Ransom Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Nalon Blair Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Ann Stevens, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billings Lee Jr., Jennifer Sensabaugh, Hazel Gatson, Jerry Brownlee, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Kathy Bradford, Thomas Bradley, also known as Uncle Buki, also known as Gypsy, Reverend Roosevelt Word the First, Stacey Trash, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Urban, Judy Herbert, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkerson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Gray G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Glebus, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Hallie Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Don Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, Gene Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hass, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Hare, Tubman Kate, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino, Baby Hatchet Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Axe Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Dorita Ross, Viola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Nitty Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Cofer, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Harrison, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heap Sr., Amber Moore, Miss Vanilla, Alvis Miley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Urchin Houston, Led Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Hing West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Beth Bond, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Raymond Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Barbara Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Sanders, Henry Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Urban, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Carwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr. Let me see, hold on. Let me see what's going on real quick. Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easy, Rashawn Easy, Jabez McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Shekamar Ha Reed. Hold on for a second, Instagram. Hold on, family. That was Mama Margarita. Check it in. She want to know what's next. We about to. It's going down in Columbus. She want to know what's next. Family, what's next? What we going to do next? What's going on? All right. What's going on? All right, Facebook done hit my account again this morning, so I got to figure out what all these Facebook payments is coming out for. But anyway, let's keep it moving. I am going to start at Maddie and Charlie Scott out of Casey, Thomas Cofer, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Harrison, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Vanilla, Alvis Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Erton Houston, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Aldrin, West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donna Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Beth Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beer, Tim Butler, Remy Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Barbara Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Sanders, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Urban, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robert Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rashawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Shekamaha Reed Jr., John Reed Jr., Patricia Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Albert, Mazarine Cofer, George Swan, Emmanuel Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael Morgan, Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Annie Ferguson, William Ferguson, Shelby McClendon. All right, cool. Let's move on. We have Joella Giles. We have James Carswell, Roberta Adams, also known as Aunt Sis, Elder Shaka McNair, Anthony Brown, Jonathan Ford, Lottie Gaucher, Cousin Tony, Michael Johnson, James Jimmy Johnson, Barbara Shang Lewis. We got Ronald Shelton Jr. We got Damian Top with Stina Banks. We got Joseph Bingham, Quincy, Mama, Aunt Lady, Abraham Isaac Cundiff, Barbara Lewis, Renee Johnson, Joy, Ryan Ross Riggins, Jermonte, Marcus Price, Ness Words, Marshawn McHale, Demetrius Beard, Herb Jepson, Ralph Mickens, Eric Walker, Quasi Sample, Candace Simmons, Severin Clayton. We got Leonard Jones, Sade Garner, Melvin Scott Sr., the Clarence Lumpkin, Elizabeth Johnson, Frank Smith, Stacey Trice, Denise Goray, Nathaniel Hassan Turner. Khaled is in transition, also known as Nigel Turner. We got Demetrius Lewis Flynn, Alberta Woods, Geneva Simmons, Daniel Tilley, Angeline Gantz, Sharifa, Oscar Kane, Audrey Gripper, Dominique Nichols, Ruthie Lane Johnson. We got Teresa Sambu, Aunt Maxine, Uncle James, Henry Manga III, Tamara Dottie, Nicole Harris, Julia Taylor, Richard Bozeman II, Ruth Carter, John Carter, Mr. Thornton, Johanna, Deshandra Lynette Lewis, Henderson Mosley, Charles Jordan, Henry Essex II, Fannie L. Webb, Dan Walton, Alauti Sue Walton, Emma Walton, James Randolph Giles, Sonny Pete Walton, William Walton, Fred Powers, Elijah Juan Hakeem and Como, Alberta T. Davis, Charles Davis, Willie R. Mackey, also known as Dr. Creamy Mackey, Victor Bowden, Drusilla Kitty Berger, Lucy White, Robert Lee White, Emma Jean White, Talton Roger White, R.L. White, Jesse White, Ruby Jewel White, Johnson Carl White, Desi Woods, Tillar Woods Lennox, Jim Woods, Lizzie Woods, Juanita Alexander Brown, Cynthia Ann Wright, Richard Dorsey, Annie Simpson, Jamira Simpson, Regina Hopkins, Joseph Simpson, Nettie Dorsey, Eleanor Hopkins, Edward Webster, Alice Webster, Ivy Webster, Arnella Willis, Ethel Lane, Samantha DeMond, Ethel Marshall, Steve Dougie Shelton, William Bill Walker, Carl Rico Johnson, Kim Gray, Stuart A. Johnson, Edward Young III, Isaac Jackson Sr., Drusilla Merle, Wayne Young, Christina Young, Thomas Young, Frank Merle, Sylvester Foster, James and Lizzie Winston, Abe and Julia Lawrence, Ozell Leathers Sr., Gladys Coper, Ozell Leathers Jr., Geneva Jackson, R.J. Lacey, also known as Tooth the Don, Saber Winston, Chris Kinney, Margaret Minter, Mary Smith, Juanita Florine Stith Gibbs, Carl William Duncan Jr., Janet Callahan, Danny Hill, Miko, D. Nice Hill, Andre Martin, Mabel Williams, Terry Brown, Teresa Biddles, Levon Kincaid, Carla Sawyer, Reverend Jesse Porter, Deacon Ezekiel Dennis, Brenda Porter, Craig Lee Jones, Granny Beulah, Papa Al Riesland, Inez Smith, George Gamble Sr., Joseph Garrett. Family, we lift up our glass and we salute these ancestors and we say, Ashe. From there, family, move to the present moment. We are in the present moment right now. Right now, we are on Umoja, giving all of the Moja babies a round of applause. Where is that? Where is that? Come on. I know y'all can't hear it, but there's a crowd cheering. Cheering all you Umoja babies. All right? Here we go. Y'all ready? So, family, we are in the present moment right now. In the present moment, y'all know right now, it is hot out in those streets. It's hot out there, right? We are on what they call not only quarantine, but we got curfews now. My grown ass got a curfew. All right. Come on now. We're gonna talk about what's going on. What's going on in the moment, family? What are you doing right now? Right? What are you doing right now? Shouts out to Mama Margarita listening in. So now we on the Moja. Okay? Moja is a day of unity. That's what it stands for. That's what it represents. Oh, bring my tree alive. I got people texting me. I don't like bringing my Tree of Life book. Good God, they want me to bring my Tree of Life book out the house. Anyway, we got unity. Okay? That's the day. So family, activate those reticular formations and you can see unity, right? We got the young people out. We got young people of all groups, all tribes, all races coming together right now and confronting what's going on with these goddamn coppers, right? We got to call it like it is, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you know, we've been hearing it, you know, it's just a few bad apples for a very long time. Now it's time for the good apples to start pointing out the bad apples. It's time for the bad apples to be removed. And if the bad apples can't be removed, we'll burn down the whole goddamn tree and plant another one. I'm just saying. So we're going to talk about some of that today because that's what Mama Margarita called what's next. What's next? We're about to talk about what's next. And we have to be very clear on what's next as nation builders and as elders and because the warriors are on the battlefield at this point in time. Whether we know it or not, our young people are on the battlefield right now, right? So what are the next steps for us? So let's talk about that a little bit today, and then we go a little bit more in depth as we progress. So family, we're looking for that unity out there. We're looking for unity within our homes. We're looking for unity within our places of work. We're looking for unity within our tribes, within the groups that we meet. You know, remind yourself that unity is there. Sometimes you have to look very hard of it. Sometimes you got to remind yourself that we're going through a process of building a united front, building unity. All right. The modern principle of the day is truth. You can't have unity without truth. Violet is the color. That's why I got on the purple shirt. Mentalism is the Hermetic law of the day. Male name for the day is Kwojo. Female name is Ajua. So we raise our glass for this present moment because in this moment we have the power to decide on what direction we go. We have the power to build and get that space and time for our children because our ancestors provided us with space and time. It might not have been a lot. A lot of it might have been stolen. But, yo, we have an opportunity in our lifetime to take some of that space and time back, expand it, and move some of that space and time into some good territory where we are able to produce some resources and pass them on to the children. That is our responsibility. That's our responsibility. So we raise our glass up right now to this present moment. We salute this moment. We recognize our power in this moment. We recognize our space in this moment. And we'll take advantage of our space and our time in this moment rather than sitting around and wasting it. We raise our glass and we say, oh, shit. We lift up our glass. From there, we move to our children, our children's children. we realize that our children, you know what I'm saying, in many cases, our children will be the ones leading the way. The warriors are young for a reason, right? They got that energy, right? So we raise our glass for our children, our children's children, on to infinity. Because we always were here and we will be here, especially if in each moment we're handling our business. Just saying. So I raise my glass and we say, Ashe. From there, family, we move on and we move to all of our relations and we raise our glass and we say, Ashe. From all of our relations, family, we move to that selfish toast. What is it that you need right now in this moment to move towards your greatness? Raising the glass. What is it that you need to do to move towards your greatness? Huh? We raise the glass. We say, Ashe. Last but not least, I want to toast the most beautiful, most magnificent, most inspiring individual in the room. I'm lifting up my glass to you, and we say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Family, I wish you peace, power, joy, and 100 years. All right, let me go on because I want to sample this. Oh, still sweet. Lord have mercy. That extra honey. All right, let's move. Let's get it moving. Your hustle builds muscle. Family, listen. It's time for us. It's time for us to go on and have our talk. Maybe I'll open up the lines. Maybe I won't. We're going to go through some of the news that's popping up because, of course, you know that a lot of this stuff is popping off right now, and it's all over the country. All over the country. The world is in fire. The world is burning right now. Great Umoja to you as well, Brother Kwame. Of course, we're going to make it a great day. I ain't got no choice, because if I leave it to my enemies, they're going to make it a horrible day. And they're going to try to make it a horrible day, even if I don't allow it. Right? So, family, let's go on and check out some of the news that's popping off right now so that we're going to talk about it and get throw up some comments up because I get enough comments coming in. We can open up the lines. We can have a conversation before I get up out of here. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Let's move it on. Because, family, like I said, I just gave y'all my little perception of some of the stuff that I was seeing when I went down. Close. Y'all got my PayPal business up. Got all my business up. All right, but matter of fact, I think I want to read what a young sister put on a ADOS timeline. Let's read that. Her name is Erica Crawley. This is Erica Crawley on Facebook, I'm imagining, and this was posted in the ADOS chat, and I'm going to read it. Please stop critiquing and criticizing how others show up or not show up in this moment. Now isn't the time to be self-righteous either. Everybody has a part to play. The question you should be asking yourself are, what is my part, and how can I help someone else do theirs? Everyone isn't meant to be on the proverbial front lines. Some people bring the water to the people on the front lines, and their contribution is just as valuable. Find your ministry, your lane, your part. Remember, there are people who have been advocating for change, leading and fighting for Black Lives Matter before it was a hashtag, and others since it became one. Give people some grace that in this moment perhaps they needed to take a step back with the hope that others will fill in the void or hold space for them as they catch their breath to be able to jump back into the fight. That's solidarity. Sometimes people need to tag out and someone else to tag in. That's sustainability. We are in the midst of a pandemic. Most of us have been isolated from our families and friends while losing loved ones to the virus at the same time. We're taking a graphic image of black people being harassed by the army, harassed by the Amy Coopers of the world, and lives being murdered in their own home, while jogging by armed vigilantes on the streets by cops. Not to mention thousands of people are unemployed due to COVID and haven't received one unemployment check yet. People are dealing with trauma and are barely hanging on. We are fighting against a system of oppression. Let's not oppress each other. Take care of yourself and each other. All right, we're gonna give her a round of applause on that. That's one of those young people. Well, I'm assuming she's young. She looks pretty young on the picture. But nowadays, people be putting up old pictures and stuff. But that's, all right, let's go. Let's go down the timeline and see what's going on, family. Right? Because yesterday we was perusing and we went into some of the questions. Now, one of the things that was revealed to me is that family, you know what I'm saying, Tawi, Gye-Nyame, we got to get on our organization game. Because whoever is organizing this shit, they are leaps and bounds ahead of where we are. It's like they was prepared for this moment. Now, conspiracy theories or not, I don't think there should be any group out there more organized than what we have at all. So we really got to sit down. We got to sit down with the elders. We got to sit down with the nation builders. We got to sit down with our warriors, and we have to be ready. Right? Because this battle, because right now what we're looking at the beginnings of something. And something we could push farther to make sure that our agenda is covered. That's my major concern. My major concern is what's next. That's what the elder called me to ask me this morning. What's next? Right? So we're going to look at some of the stuff that's coming through, and then we might need to talk about some of the stuff that we need to start pushing on. Right? Because I'm trying to tell you why other people, because like this is what's crazy, because while some people is doing some of this, this is a perfect inroads for us to seriously start talking about 2023. I know you're like, that's a long way away. No, but 2023, we got to start preparing for it now. We got to start doing stuff for it now. Right? What do you mean 2023, Brother Hatim? All the seats on the city council are going to be up for grabs. Possibly somebody going to have to run for mayor. Right? Because we need to grab hold of as much of the political apparatus as we possibly can and redirect some of those resources into our community, because we know that we have been in a sense targeted to suffer, so that where we are in Columbus or where you are in your city, you have been put in a place to suffer, and your suffering feeds the system. So now we need to take control of this motherfucker. Either take control or tear it up. One or the other. Now, which road we go, more than likely it's going to be young people and their actions that's going to decide that. But family, you do not, now when you go to the battlefield, right, the goal of the battlefield is either total victory or to at least be able to come out with some type of win. Right? So hold on. I want y'all to look at some of this stuff real quick. You can get it too. This is what the police officers are saying all over the country right now. You can get it too. They spraying their kids, right? They beating up their own old people. As a matter of fact, Brother Kwame sent me a video of them pushing down his 63-year-old sister because she wanted to get a video of them abusing another elder. They don't give a shit. Right? This is what we dealing with. So now we got a militarized police force that needs to be brought under control and brought to their knees to realize that they're supposed to serve and protect. But somewhere along the lines, they have been taught to serve and protect someone else. They're not serving and protecting you. So you can't even peacefully protest. I don't know why. Rather than putting, they put these people right in the middle of the street to help stop traffic. Why not just fan out and let the people protest? Because it's a righteous anger. It's righteous questions that have been risen by not only the brother's death in Minnesota, but the brother's death in Georgia and the sister's death, I think, in Detroit or wherever it was. You understand what I'm saying? But all of this All this stuff is a righteous anger of the people. Right? And police are saying, you can get it too. I don't give a fuck about your anger. You supposed to be a law-abiding citizen. And I can abuse you because you're out of place, because you're showing your emotions right now. I'll billy club you. I'll push you down in the street. I'll spray you. Even though you sitting up there standing with your hands up, I ask you to step back. I'm going to spray you. Oh, Judgment Day is coming, family. So, let's go and look at this. The reason I put the norms have broken down, shock, as journalists are arrested, injured by the police while trying to cover the story. They don't give a damn if you're a reporter. I don't give a damn if you got your pass. You can get it too. You know what? And the best part about this is that white America, parts of white America are actually getting to see and feel what black folks have been talking about for a very long time. Y'all just making that up. If you just followed the rules, none of this would be happening to you. You know deep down inside you a thug. You's a thug. You know, you got what you deserve. So now we got we got reporters, national reporters. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about local papers. They beating local paper people up, and they beating up national newscasters. Y'all also seen on the timeline where I posted up where they walked. You know, they walked up to a CNN reporter while he was live. He said, I'm live. Don't care, you coming with us. You want us to move? He was complying. No, yeah, we want you to move with your hands behind your back over here, or you could get it too. That's what they might as well say. You could get it too. Hell, Joyce Beatty, you could get it too. Kevin Boyce, you could get it too. Right? Yeah, I don't give a damn. You could get it. You could get it. Right? This, and what's crazy about this, family, I want y'all to think about this. We pay these motherfuckers salary. Yeah, think about that. We pay their salary. And they out here beating up our kids. Macing old people. Right? Kicking dogs. Maybe people might need to take their dogs out there. Maybe that might get a little bit more outrage in the country when they mace a couple of dogs and shit. Because it don't matter whether, they don't mind beating up a black youth. They done showed you they don't mind beating the hell out of white youth. They'll beat up a Hispanic youth. We need to get some dogs out there because dogs seem to touch the heart. You know what I'm saying? So we need to don't bring the pit bulls. We need those little shaggy dogs and shit that white people go crazy over. Let them mace one of them motherfuckers. I bet you it'll be some real changes around here. All right, let's go now and let's look at this real quick. We ain't going to cover the whole thing. But look at the reporters. They going crazy. Ali Veshi knew almost instantly what had happened when he felt a sharp pain in his leg Saturday night in Minneapolis. He'd been hit with a rubber bullet fired by the police. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. As a kid growing up in Canada, it felt familiar. It felt like a puck hit me in the shin, said the MSNBC anchor who was covering what he described as a peaceful march of protesters. It hit in a place that hurt. So he's with a peaceful protest, and he was with MSNBC. He's an MSNBC anchor. They popped his ass, right? You can get it too. Maybe that's what I should have named this one this morning. You can get it too. Welcome to America. Welcome to the side of America that I have been standing on for a very long time. Welcome. How does it feel? Right? How does it feel? Right? Take some of that trauma home with you. Take it home with you and deal with your kids. Go on. Take that trauma home with you. Come on, family. This shit is real. Right? We got these young people out here. Right? It don't even matter. And listen, I went down to Columbus and it was so many white kids. I swear I felt I was at a hip hop concert. I know y'all some of y'all don't get that because y'all never been to a hip hop concert, because there's more white people at hip hop concerts than black people. Just saying, it was like being at a hip hop concert, and they was mad. White people was mad, right? And they was getting it too. They was getting it. So what this does is it exposed a lot of hypocrisy that a lot of us come up seeing. Other people is just stumbling on this shit right now. They stumbling in it. You can look on the screen, on my screen, those that are on, what's up, Miss Stephanie? Those of you that's on Instagram, you can come over and you could go to gnjmedia.live. You can see what I'm showing. This reporter looked like she freaking out. A medic protester assisted a member of the media after police fired tear gas and rubber bullets near a Minneapolis police precinct during a demonstration over the death of George Floyd in police custody on May 30th. George Floyd is the spark. And I want people to understand this. This is not just about George Floyd. This is about some shit that has been going on in this country for a very long time. I want y'all to understand that. This is some shit that's been going on for a very long time. George Floyd is just one in a very long list. Because I don't want us to lose sight of that, because when we lose sight of that and we think that it's just about George Floyd and it becomes about arresting the police officers, because I want y'all, see, because what's going to happen is that the whole energy of this is going to be hijacked and is going to be changed to focusing on just arresting the officers that did that. Not saying that shouldn't come out of it, but also we need reforms as far as policing goes when it comes to black people. It's a goddamn shame that black professionals, even up to this day, with a suit and a tie on, still possibly get tight in the stomach when they driving down the street and a police car pull up behind them. That shit should not exist. So now this is one of the reasons I keep on talking about this whole reparations piece. If you go to ADOS101.com, you can see the black agenda. And one of the things is that we become a protected class. We want, even when a motherfucker is just pulled over, we want the whole justification for the whole pullover. You got a whole bunch of paperwork that you got to do to justify your actions when it comes to any of us. Because we have suffered over here for a very long time, and it's our suffering that propels this motherfucker country into the future and built it into the place that it is right now today. We're reporters, we done opened up America so much now that white reporters could get it too. All right, but hold on. Let's go now. Velshi, who suffered minor bruises, was one of at least a dozen journalists injured in cities across America this weekend, including a photographer who was blinded in one eye as police fired rubber bullets. Because now those bullets will take your goddamn eye out. I'm just letting you know. Pepper spray and tear gas to quell unrest. Not since the 60s, when the nation was racked by civil rights demonstration, anti-war protests, and urban riots, had the press been embroiled in so much violence on American shores. Not America. Police advance on protesters as Minneapolis demonstrations continue past curfew. In several cases, reporters appear to have been swept up in indiscriminate efforts by authorities to disperse crowds. But in a number of incidents, journalists were injured, harassed, or arrested even after identifying themselves as reporters because they don't want you reporting on the fuckery. It's ADOS101.com. ADOS101.com. Blatant violations, constitutional protections, and long-standing ground rules that guide interaction between media and law enforcement. I'd skip that. But family, they don't want you. They don't want reporters. I want you to understand this. There's a reason why they don't want reporters. There's a reason why they will go on a national show, even though, because you can't tell me that those white men never heard of CNN. You can't tell me that the police ain't never heard of CNN. They're setting examples. They're making it very uncomfortable for reporters to be able to do what they do and report. But in a number of incidents, journalists were injured, harassed, or arrested even after identifying themselves as reporters, a blatant violation of constitutional protections and long-standing ground rules that guided interaction between media and law enforcement officials. We don't care about that. Right? That's what they're saying. We don't care about that. We don't care about your Constitution. You the only one still worried about, you the only one that still practice Constitution. And we extended some of this shit to poor white folks. But they about to start pulling that shit back too. Y'all, you think you're in it now. You're about to get in it for real in a second. Especially, the economy ain't looking all that good. Some of those trust funds might be drying up, family. So y'all might as well get ready. Later on Saturday, for example, Velshi said his and another TV crew were confronted by police in a nearly deserted parking lot and informed them they were news media. We don't care, Velshi said, the police told him before opening fire without injury. God damn. So that's called an ambush. Maybe he ain't had the right language. They got ambushed. Right? So you got man, listen, I can't even, let's move on from here. Family, listen, so now you know what some of these young people are facing. Like I said, my only issue is who down here? Let's go and be clear. Who are our allies? Are you willing to vote in a way that will bring social justice? You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to have your vote move in that direction as well? Because I understand the action and the anger, right? But now, are you willing to vote to bring justice? Are you willing to force your representatives to have discussions about reparations and dealing with African Americans? Because this is what pissed me off about Biden. Biden talk about the wound of America, but won't go into detail. You know what I'm saying? Biden, there's a lot of people out here that, they hear your metaphor. And they know on the surface, but you, somebody that want to run for president, and you need these people, you need our votes. You need to go on and really discuss this wound. And also, this would be the perfect time for you to talk about your involvement with the wound and how you want to fix it. Right? Because, people bring up the 94 crime bill rather than defending that shit. Go on, take it on the chin and be like, yo, and I participated in this. And here's the talk about, I feel it's my responsibility to change this thing. We cannot continue treating a population of our citizens the way we have been treating African Americans, the way we have been treating ADOS. And walk them through slavery and some of the brutality of slavery. Walk them through post-Reconstruction. Walk them through Jim Crow and the Black Codes. Walk them up through the 60s and with the war on drugs. Walk them all the way up to today. You got time. You sitting in that goddamn basement. You got enough people around you with brains that could do that shit. It's time for America to really deal with what the issue is. We're dealing with an issue of race. We're dealing with an issue of this country needing a bottom caste, and you have decided that the bottom caste of this country is going to be black folks. So now even your children is like, that shit ain't right. Your kids. Right? Because like I told you, I went out there, they say, hands up. All these white hands went up. I had to jump. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Right? You're like, good grief. Black America have a message for Democrats. Not being Trump is not enough. Not being Trump is not enough. Here we go. Black Americans have a message for Democrats. Joe Biden wants to heal the soul of the country in this moment of protest and loss and win the White House. Simply telling people to vote in November may not help with either goal. First off, what is the ask from black folks? Second off, what is the offer from the Democrats? We are the critical space that I'm wondering what is going on with some of these Democratic strategies. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some shit is happening behind the scenes. Of course, probably is. I don't know. But y'all need to be getting shit out now. But I think, because I think what's going to happen is because they would rather wait out this and then try to have us at the table. Now, the table need to be set now, homie. Right now will really help heal the wounds that you talk about. In an on-camera address after a week of destructive protests, former Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr. pleaded with his audience to imagine life for black people in America. Imagine, he said, if every time your husband or son, wife or daughter left the house, you fear for their safety. Imagine the police called on you for sitting in Starbucks. Take it back, Joe. Come on, man. You a man of letters. You know what I'm saying? You a man of means. Come on, man. Take it back. The anger and the frustration and the exhausting and the exhaustion is undeniable, he said. Come on now. Give him a history lesson, Joe. I know you about to break it down, right? Take them back. Take them how. Take them how a lot of us, those that are ADOS, got here, Joe. Had that conversation. We need to have that table talk, right? Because you're losing the country right now. You're losing the country. And as long as motherfuckers speak around the truth, you know what I'm saying, bend the truth, and not really deal with where black Americans, where ADOS, because you know what I'm saying, because what's going to start happening is the rhetoric is going to move from black America to people of color to all of us. No, this issue is something that is unique to ADOS. Other people get the spillover, but this shit definitely affects us all the time. All right. Exhaustion. For many black Americans across the country, what a year this month has been. The coronavirus pandemic has continued to disproportionately kill black people, and a spate of high-profile killings in recent months in Georgia and Kentucky and Minnesota. I think the lady was killed in Kentucky, so I said Detroit. It was Kentucky. The latter two, at the hands of the police, led to widespread demonstrations nationwide. We know this. Protests shook more than 36 cities on I almost said it, on Kuumba, as crowds expressed outrage over the death of George Floyd, a black security guard who was killed in police custody in Minneapolis. Now, family, remember what I tell you about stories, because they're crafting a story to justify what happened to him. Just the fact that they brought the officer in on third degree murder, as if that shit accidentally happened. You know what I'm saying? I accidentally sat on his neck for 8 minutes. I lost track of time. What? All right, but here we go. I'm going to skip. In Columbia, to see where Mr. Biden delivered his victory speech after South Carolina primary just over 3 months ago, demonstrators on Saturday said they were demanding more than what it seemed like an election in November would deliver. Not only justice for the death of George Floyd, but change in political and economic power that will prevent the death of another black person. And that's the only way that it's going to stop. Right? Because whether we know it or not, the police force is part of that political and economic power. The police protect the economic power. The police is the right arm of supporting all this shit. So, family, we have to, some of us, like those of you in my age grade, you have to start looking at politics, right? And there's some things we could do economically as well. You know what I'm saying? We have to start looking at politics, and we got to start looking at the economics, and we really have to start in our areas, start running. And remember this, family, as I say, you don't run always to win. Sometimes you run just to get the message out, just so people know that you're serious. Because we already know, if you look at history, all it takes is for somebody to inspire that next powerhouse. And a lot of us are sitting around. We're not inspiring anybody to do shit because we ain't doing shit. We're doing the same shit, expecting something to be different. Like I said, 2023 is coming up. This is the lead-in for 2023. Right? It's young people all around. It's like, yo, shit, they're going to be running for office. Redirecting some of the economic dollars that come into the city of Columbus right back into our black community. Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's coming here. I hope it's coming in your cities. And then also remember, just because somebody black, don't mean that they on your team. You know what I'm saying? Always remember that. You got to ask questions, just like we was asking questions yesterday about the march, especially the march, because I don't know about the march anywhere else, but what I saw, right, I'm like, damn, the level of organization was superb, right? They mobilized a lot of white folk. Who doing all this? I had a right to ask that question. I need to know. Because, I'm saying this was like no march I have been to. This is no protest I have ever been to. Like none. I'm like, oh my God. Couldn't walk a block without getting some water and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was incredible. All right, corporate voices, get behind Black Lives Matter. Be careful. Where is it at? Where my African openers to the Tree of Life? Oh my God, this is why I don't like carrying my book around. They want me to bring it to work today. Let me see. Cause it's on this page. I'm trying to look for a certain proverb. All right, here we go. Blessed are the persons, and we're going to be talking about this one, I think. Blessed are the persons who are their own discipline, say the knowledge holders. Now listen to this part. And blessed are those who know that gifts can bring chaos or peace according to their use. And blessed are those that know that gifts can bring chaos or peace according to their use. Blessed is the person in whom freedom awakens consciousness. Gifts can be gifts of chaos, or they can be blessings. So we got to watch out, you know what I'm saying? Especially when people, when people want to brand movements, they want to brand it, right? So we got corporations getting in the mix. So we know we got outside money flowing, and we know what people who haven't had a lot will do for some money. Come on now. All right, here we go. Betty Hardin called for civilian board review. Betty and Hardin. So now, this is some of the stuff. This is some of the stuff that's happening in Columbus right now. Betty and Hardin called for a civilian board to review police. Uh-oh. This is what happens when the police say, you can get it too. You know what I'm saying? Because they maced her ass, boy. Well, I don't care who you are. Look. This dude standing right over this white woman. He might be macing her right now. Oh, man. Columbus elected official called Sunday for the formation of an independent commission to review the use of force by police officers instead of allowing local law enforcement agencies to investigate their own officers. Damn. It took our elected officials getting maced. Hold on. It took our elected officials getting maced to realize that it was wrong to allow the police to police themselves. I mean, shit, even drug agencies know that you got to have outside people come in to do the goddamn, what is it? Where they come and make sure that you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. You got to have third parties. So the police have been allowed to police themselves. I guess that's what the internal investigation piece is. Come on, man. Oh my God. So it took them getting maced to be like, we need an independent board. Shit. ADO has been screaming that shit in Columbus since they started. You know what I'm saying? And they're relatively new to the field. They recognize that shit. Other black people have been recognizing this shit for a long time. So now you come down to it. See, this is the type of shit that kind of lets you know how in touch with the people somebody is. Right? Because it's like, boom, they experience the pain. They're like, ouch, I didn't know that really ever hurt it. Yeah, motherfucker, this has been going on for a long time. Columbus City Council President Shannon Hardin and U.S. Rep. Joyce Beatty said they support a civilian review commission that would investigate such incidents. Don't just support it. What actions are you taking to make sure that shit gets in place? Now, this is what needs to be going out to Joyce Beatty, and this is what needs to be going out to Shannon Harding. You know what I'm saying? The calls need to be going out. The text messages need to be going out. When we going to start this review board? What steps do the people need to take to make sure this review board is in place? This is one of the asks that's coming up out of this for Columbus. We need an independent, what is it called? An independent. What is it? An independent commission to review the use of force by the police officer. And maybe we need some other stuff to oversee the police. The police need to know that there's going to be major consequences for fuckery. They need to know that because they got to be held to a higher standard because they are able to carry weapons. They are the executioners in many cases of the state. When it comes to us, we always view them as the executioners of the state. Mayor Andrew J. Ginther added his support to the idea later in the day. All right, let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. So now we got the mayor. Oh, but they got to fuck with that police union, y'all. Oh, they got, that police union about to go. They about to go mad right now. And you about to see how politics work. You about to see it. Any such commission in Columbus will have to be negotiated as part of the Fraternal Order of Police next contract. Ginther and Hardin said. When is the next contract up? Let's see. Can somebody find out when their next contract up? So they get to whoop our ass until the next contract, right? Right? Storm a couple of houses, accidentally. SWAT, we heard they were selling dope up in here. Accidentally come in. Accidentally murder a couple people before all this shit happens. No. Sometime you need to go on and just throw away a contract and say this shit need to be renegotiated right now. See, that's part of the issue. That's part of the issue. How much money is the Fraternal Order of Police putting into politics in Columbus so that they can make sure that they got a union? I'm even wondering at this point in time, do police officers need to have a union? I'm just wondering. Do police officers in Columbus, Ohio, even need to have a union? Or in any city? Right? These motherfuckers literally look like RoboCop. I wonder if in Columbus, if we compare what Columbus puts into the police force, because they have some nice equipment out there, and what they put in the schools, how would it compare? What percentage? What's the percentage of the budget? You know what I'm saying? Maybe because this motherfucker look like RoboCop. Literally, that looks like the first Batman suit in Batman Arises. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Don't listen to me, I'm just some random guy on YouTube and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a random guy on YouTube. So I had to do a part 2 yesterday because I fell asleep. I was dozing off during the toast, and I have to apologize to my family. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got 64 views yesterday. Okay, wow. 1 share. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Let's see. I think that's it for now. I'm about to get out of here so I can get to my adventure on time. I got a lot of work to do. And I'm also going to be trying to stream Old School G&J podcast. So y'all going to check that out a little bit later. And maybe, because I'm going to be doing some experiments. So some stuff is going to be popping up on the screen. I'm going to be testing it. So some of the elders need to be ready. Some of the people that have some free time and cell phones need to be ready because I'm going to be testing some stuff out. So for DigiFest. So, all right, family, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Those of you that took the time to join us now and those of you that will come by later. Unless y'all got something that y'all want to share with the brother or something that y'all want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? I'm up on the chat right now. I'll give you a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's hot, we can open up the lines. You know what I'm saying? I take a break. Get my shoes on and stuff so I could just jump up and run out when it's time to run out. You know what I'm saying? But unless y'all got something else, any other announcements, anybody noticed anything, any new news that I might have not known about, anything that I missed, any comments about any of the shows from yesterday, any comments or questions about anything that I covered before. FOP didn't work too well for our MN brother who shot the white woman who surprised him by banging. Oh, no, they sure didn't. Oh, you talking about in Minnesota. Oh, his ass, shit. Did he even get to go home? I'm just wondering. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is a lesson, right? These institutions are set up to protect white men and white people. I know you don't want to hear it. I know y'all don't want to hear it, right? But the FOP, come on now. They supporting white men's right to be patty rollers, slave patrollers. You know what I'm saying? Patty rollers, slave patrollers. I wouldn't be surprised if many of them don't have little classes on how to secretly hurt people without leaving marks and shit. Come on now. We know come on now. We've been in the game too long. But anyway, all right. Since that's it, let me go and hang up. It's been a pleasure being here with y'all. By the way, before we go, let's go and make sure that we give our family props.
AYIMBUBE is an acronym. Mind, Body, and Universal Balance Empowerment Institute. It is also Zulu. It means lion, of course. With that, we're working with resiliency. We're working with trauma-informed care. With all of the mind-body connections that we need to not only address so many of our ills, but also to heal from them. There's no one giant step that does it. It's a lot of little steps. Author unknown. How do you regulate? Yoga, meditation, and Bube. Mind, body, universal balance, empowerment. We're waiting for you. How do you regulate?
To have melanin embedded in our skin is a gift.
Oh my gosh, when I say too black, you say too strong. Too black? Too strong? Yeah.
We were born to be great.
Oh my gosh, when I say too black, you say too strong. Too black?
We were born to be great.
Help us keep doing what we're doing. Go to gnjmedia.support. gnjmedia.support. All right, family, we are out.